Hi, my name is Abby and I am the Talking Book Librarian. Thank you for joining us for our book talk series. These videos will be recorded and out on the Indiana State Library's YouTube channel, as well as the Talking Book Facebook page. The purpose of these book talks is to provide book ideas for book clubs and to include questions for you to answer for yourself or in a book club setting. These videos will remain online forever, so you can decide to read these books whenever you would like. If you are interested in this book or any of the others, give the Talking Book employees a call at 800-622-4970. Feel free to pause the video at any time to answer any of the questions. The book we will be discussing today is The Harlem Shuffle by Colson Whitehead. So about the book, Cora is a slave on a cotton plantation in Georgia. Life is hell for all the slaves, but especially bad for Cora, an outcast even among her fellow Africans. She is coming into womanhood, where even greater pain awaits. When Caesar, a recent arrival from Virginia, tells her about the Underground Railroad, they decide to take a terrifying risk and escape. Matters do not go as planned. Cora kills a young white boy who tries to capture her. Though they manage to find a station and head north, they are being hunted. In Whitehead's ingenious conception, the Underground Railroad is no mere metaphor. Engineers and conductors operate a secret network of tracks and tunnels beneath the southern soil. Cora and Caesar's first stop is South Carolina, in a city that initially seems like a haven. But the city's placid surface masks an insidious scheme designed for its Black citizens. And even worse, Ridgway, the relentless slave catcher, is close on their heels. Forced to flee again, Cora embarks on a harrowing flight, state by state, seeking true freedom. Like the protagonist of Gulliver's Travels, Cora encounters different worlds at each stage of her journey. Hers is an odyssey, through time as well as space. As Whitehead brilliantly recreates the unique terrors for Black people in the pre-Civil War era, his narrative seamlessly weaves the saga of America from the brutal importation of Africans to the unfulfilled promises of the present day. The Underground Railroad is at once a kinetic adventure tale of one woman's ferocious will to escape the horrors of bondage and a shattering, powerful meditation on the history we all share. There's a picture on the right of the book. It's a really pretty book. Of course, it has like a little railroad motif to it, and it's also a really pretty red color. So we will go about the author a little bit. Colson Whitehead, the author, was born in 1969 and was raised in Manhattan. After graduating from Harvard College, he started working at the Village Voice, where he wrote reviews of television, books, and music. Colson Whitehead's reviews, essays, and fiction have appeared in a number of publications, such as the New York Times, The New Yorker, New York Magazine, Harper's, and Granta. He has received a MacArthur Fellowship, a Guggenheim Fellowship, a Whiting Writers Award, the Dos Passos Prize, and a fellowship at the Cullman Center for Scholars and Writers. In 2018, New York State named him their New York State Author, and in 2020, the Library of Congress awarded him their Prize for American Fiction. He is taught at the University of Houston, Columbia University, Brooklyn College, Hunter College, New York University, Princeton University, Wesleyan University, and has been a writer in residence at Vassar College, the University of Richmond, and the University of Wyoming. Apparently, he can't keep a job. He lives in New York City. And Colson Whitehead wrote that biography of himself. And now we will go into a few of the discussion questions. So the first question is, how does the depiction of slavery in the Underground Railroad compare to other depictions in literature and in film? The scenes on Randall's plantation are horrific. How did the writing affect you as a reader? In North Carolina, institutions like doctors' offices and museums that were supposed to help Black uplift were corrupt and unethical. How do Cora's challenges in North Carolina mirror what America is struggling with today? Cora constructs elaborate daydreams about her life as a free woman and dedicates herself to reading and expanding her education. What role do you think stories play for Cora and other travelers using the Underground Railroad? The treasure, of course, was the Underground Railroad. Some might call freedom the dearest currency of all. How does this quote shape the story for you? How does Ethel's backstory, her relationship with slavery, and Cora's use of her home affect you? What are your impressions of John Valentine's vision for the farm? When speaking of Valentine's farm, Cora explains, quote, even if the adults were free of the shackles that held them fast, bondage had stolen too much time. Only the children could take full advantage of their dreaming if the white men let them, unquote. What makes this so impactful both in the novel and today? What do you think about Terence Randall's fate? How do you feel about Cora's mother's decision to run away? How does your opinion of Cora's mother change once you've learned about her fate? Whitehead creates emotional instability for the reader. If things are going well, you get comfortable before a sudden tragedy. What does this sense of fear do to you as you're reading? Who do you connect with most in the novel and why? How does the state-by-state structure impact your reading process? Does it remind you of any other works of literature? Why do you think the author chose to portray a literal railroad? How does this aspect of magical realism impact your concept of how the real Underground Railroad worked? Does the Underground Railroad change the way you look at the history of America, especially in the time of slavery and abolitionism? And I got those questions from Oprah's Book Club. They have a website and they include questions for the Oprah Book Club picks that she chooses. And I also have some suggested reading that was included with the questions. So those books are The Institutionist by Colson Whitehead also, Sag Harbor by Colson Whitehead, Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi, The Star Side of Bird Hill by Naomi Jackson, and of course Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift, which is a little bit of where Colson Whitehead, I think, took some inspiration from with the storytelling. Now that I've asked the questions, I would like to provide a few of my own thoughts and impressions on the book. I enjoyed the book a lot. I really enjoyed the magical realism that was kind of woven into the actual realism of the book. The Underground Railroad did exist. It did not exist in the form that Whitehead wrote it as, but I thought it made it a little more compelling and interesting to read it that way. Of course, all books that have the undercurrent and underpinnings of slavery are hard to read, but I think they are worth it to read and to understand where people were coming from at the time, how they were affected, and how that affects things today, which I think is always important to know where you came from and why you're here now so that we don't repeat that history. I really did enjoy the read. I think I'm going to read some others by Colson Whitehead now. I had never read him before as an author, and he's a very good storyteller. So I enjoyed it quite a bit. I encourage you to pick up more by him. He has a new series out currently that I think is very popular. So if you ever want any of those books, give us a call at Talking Books. We can get you set up with some more of his stuff as well. And we will be back in September, I believe, with another book to discuss. We'll see you then. Bye.